2019, any of these versions in your mobile or tablet. You can do it only with your laptop or a desktop PC. Lokesh, you have any question or? Yes, it needs some minimum requirement. So those informations will be available here. You can just go and check for like what will be the drawback. Like what I suggest is at least an i5 with 8 GB RAM and like 4 to 5 GB of hard disk space should be a good one. If you still have an i3 laptop, no worries, you can still install this, but when you do a process, like it will be slower. That's the only thing. And hard disk space is mandate, like at least you should need 4 plus GB space available in your hard disk, then only it can install the package. And when it during the time of installation, it will ask for what all the language, because it supports more than 13 languages. So you select only for C sharp. So at least like most of the packages will be avoided, and it can save some space and it can improve the processing speed. Since it is Microsoft, all the details will be very much clear, and you can see all the informations. All you have to do is just go to Google and type as Visual Studio, and all like every details will be available. And even there are many YouTube videos to show you how to install and all those things. Okay, now I already have a installed version. Yes, Hari, it is possible. Like it can work on i3 also uh, with 4 GB RAM, but it will be very slow. Hope you have some more than 6 GB of hard disk space. This should be working fine. So now I opened this one. Like since it is like almost it is there in my machine, I have all other like old applications and all those things. But if you are a fresh starting after the installation, then it will be very much clear. Okay, so there is something called as clone a repository. So it get started is the very fresh one. You can't see any of these options because these are recently open. You see there is called as clone a repository, open a project or solution, open a local folder and create a new project. So what is meant by create a new project? Quick answers. These are general questions, right? I'm not asking like something very much technical. Just what is meant by creating a new project? Creating something new. Good. Yeah. So in IT, whatever we do, we call it as a project, right? Like even in your college terms also, you call it as a project, like project work and all those things. Even in schools, when they give something as a homework and they say like doing something, they call it as a project work. So something you are creating new. Yeah, it is developing software is also a project, or you want to build some structure like built a Taj Mahal in using some cardboard at home and take back to your school exhibition or college exhibition. That is also a project. Like whatever you are having some goal to achieve, that you are creating something on the project. So in the software, we call each thing as project. So when you click this, it will provide an option to create new projects. Okay. So what is the next option? Open a local folder. There might be something. Let's come back to this later. So when I click on new project, it's showing many options. So let's talk about this in a while. So open a local folder. Like there will be some set of codes, like say there is a Java project, but I just want to go through the project. I can't execute the Java project in Visual Studio 2019, but still I want to go and see like what is all there. Or there is an Android application. There is some project files available, or I want to see some files. So for that, it is not a proper project which is supported here, but still you can go and open that local folder and you can see what is all available, and open a project or solution. Say for example, I created one project, I created a billing software, and I'm saying like this billing software will work if you install in your machine like that, and I am just sharing that through a Google Drive to you, and you downloaded the project to your local machine. And when you want to open the project, either you can directly go, it is like downloading a movie or an audio file and opening. You can do it in two ways. One, you can directly go to the download folder or wherever you copied, double click on that file, it will automatically open in some players, like it may be whatever player you have installed, it will start working on that Windows movie maker, or sorry, Windows movie player, or a VLC player or anything else. So same way, like you can go to the project folder location and you can double click and you can open, or you can click this option and you can say like, okay, open that project in that location. You can click on the browse, it is like opening the file, right? You can click on the browser and you can go and you can open it. That's it. So these three are very common. It is nothing like different one. So one thing which may be new for few people and somewhere me aware, like what is mean by clone a repository? What is mean by cloning? Duplicate, copying, yeah, right. So there is some project which is already available, but I want to replicate the project to my local. Like what is mean by cloning in the general term? There is one person, like say like there is one superstar. Okay, so that superstar, I need the similar kind of superstar for my use or in my home. So what I will do, I will do a cloning of him and I will have one person in my home. So that is the concept of cloning, right? So we can't say like it is a duplicate copy, it is a replica of that, like it is same to same, but it is a different person. And same to same, like a different mobile or something like that. It is a clone means which is like replication of the original one, and behavior also will be original. So why you have this clone a repository option, and what is mean by repository? So usually like we will use many terms in our general life, like we call like the place where the stock is kept, right? We call it as a godown, or we call it as a warehouse. These are different English terms. So some place where you will keep all the important things and kept in some place, right? We call that as a repo or repository. This is a general English term. So here, when you come to software industry, I am creating a project and I am keeping in my local laptop. All of a sudden, like I'm working on the project for almost 6 to 8 months of time. Suddenly something happening, a flood came, or something happened to my hard disk, and if everything goes away, then gone, all my 6 months of work gone. Even though I worked on the project, if I again sit next 6 months, I'm not sure whether I can bring the same output, because like whenever you do some coding, it will be like on the fly, you will get some new concepts and you will be searching for some codes, and you will be copying pasting and you will be fixing some bugs whenever you had. So we are not sure like whether on the exact 6 months you can provide the same thing what you lost, or it may take 4 months time, you may be getting experienced, or it may even take 8 months time. So something may be lost. So what is the best option to keep it safe? So for that, what is the concept they told? Like whatever I work, right, on day-to-day basis, better I will keep in some common place. Okay, like how the warehouse, like if you keep you are cultivating a crop and you are keeping the rice in your home, sometimes it will get flooded and all the rice may go away. Instead of keeping rice bags in your home, better go, like if you have some tons rice bags, better go and keep in a warehouse. And whenever you need some bags, you just take the bags and you can use it. Same concept, like you have many jewels and golds and money, everything. Instead of keeping in your home, like keep everything in a bank. Okay, whenever required, you take it, use it, and keep it back. So same concept, we call it as repository. I will create a code, and that code will be kept in a repository. Repository is nothing but GitHub. I don't know how many of you have heard about GitHub, and there are many repositories, but Git is very famous, GIT. So whenever you want to share the code, you can just copy to GitHub and you can do. Or in general term, like you are having some college related lab materials or some programs or study materials, instead of sending an email or keeping in your laptop and transferring through your pen drive, you will keep in a Google Drive and you will share that location to all your friends, so everyone can access from one place. And if some friend is adding two more PDF to that, it will be easy, everyone will be updated with that same thing. So that same concept, when I create a project, I will keep in common repository, and that code can be cloned to my local, and I can do some update. Again, I can put back to the repository. So next day morning or after 2 days, when your friend come, he will always access the updated code from the repository. So Visual Studio supports this kind of accessing to the repository. Like once you open this, and if you give the URL of that GitHub or whatever repositories you are using, and it will ask for username and password, right? Because it should be authenticated. So if you enter all those things, whatever changes you do in your local, and when you say like save to repository, all the data will be stored to repository, and whoever is working worldwide, they can also see all the updates. Any doubts in this? This is how like a person from India and a person from US will work on same project. He will update some file, the other person will update the file, and both will be in the sync. They both will be working in a same project. For that, this clone a repository and doing all those things will work. Any questions or doubts? Okay, good. So now I'm going to click this, create a new project. So as I told, like Visual Studio is not just a single platform. Like it is not just for one platform or one application. Like if you want to create a small console application, you can create using this. If you want to create a Windows application, you can create using this. Web application, you can create using this. APIs, you can create using this. Unit test and all those things are there. So let's see, like there are some categories here. First, what language I want to create. See, as I told, like this Visual Studio supports multiple languages: C++, F Sharp, Java, JavaScript, Python, query language, TypeScript, Visual Basic, XAML, all those things. TypeScript means like Angular based one, or Node.js, everything can come under TypeScript. So you can select whatever language you want and you can do, but we are concentrating on C Sharp. And what platform you want. You want an Android platform, Azure platform, iOS, Linux, Mac, tvOS, like your TV will be using some softwares, like you want to create some app, Windows, Xbox, you can click on anything. And whether you need a console application or cloud-based application, IoT, or you want to create some games or machine learning or mobile applications, and these are test projects, all those things are web application, whatever you want, you can create using this Visual Studio. So this is having multiple option and you can create multiple combination. I want a Java and Android platform and something for cloud. Those things are, because see, it is asking, right, not finding what you are looking for, install more tools and features. This is what I told. When you install, if you are going to install for all the language, then it is going to consume more space in your local and it will slow down your mission. So I am always use C Sharp. So I have only C Sharp related items, and for C Sharp also I have like only certain things, like only for Windows based application or web based application, like that I kept everything. So here you want to select one project and you want to do. So based on what you're going to do, you can select any project you want. They have multiple options. You can select whatever you want. So I'm going to create one console application. So there are two framework also. One is .NET framework and that .NET Core framework. The difference between .NET and .NET Core is like the set of library and the packages, what you want. Like how to say, you can use a smartphone, you can use a mobile, but you can use either an Android phone or an iPhone, right? So similar, like I can't match similarly, but that is a kind of, okay, both are smartphones, like there is a difference between two things, right? So similar kind of thing, .NET and .NET Core. So now I already have something here. So I'm clicking on a console application, .NET framework. I selected that, or I can select here also. This all I added to my recent projects, so it is all available. For my faster thing, I added all the projects whichever I use. I clicked here and I'm clicking on next. In console application, session 1. So here there are multiple frameworks of .NET is available. This all we can see in later. So I'm just selecting the latest one, clicking on create. Even though I'm using i7, it's still slow. Gone. Okay, got open. I thought it got crashed. So what is happening? Something has created. Most of you are aware, and for who are new to this, I just want to explain. So it created one project. So this we call it as solution. Okay, solution is nothing but like which will have multiple projects. Okay, higher level. This is like a parent. Inside that I have one project which is C# project. Hope you can see my screen. So there are something called as properties, references, program.cs, and cs is nothing but a C# file, CSC and S for sharp. Okay, if you have a Java, it will be like dot extension Java. If you have an HTML, it will be dot HTML, those things. So if you have assembly info, is nothing but it just say like what all the information, what is this, who is copywriter, and what is an ID, special ID for this project. All those informations will be there. I not even created anything. I just not even coded a single line. Whatever I just clicked, it automatically created. So this is one good thing about using an IDE. Like it will help you to collaborate all the supporting files and all those things. Whenever in C, you should always write, right? Like you want to write like import something like that, or in Java you want to write all those files. So when you use an IDE, it may be Java or C# or whatever language, this all the informations will be added here automatically. Why this all in light colors? Because I'm not using any of the supporting libraries, anything inside my code. This all default code. So this is all still in light colors. And for a basic program, we need this chorus library. Like someone was asking what is meant by library and what is packages, right? So these are the libraries and packages which is provided by Microsoft. So it is all already included and it is all installed in your local. So what I can do, I can just go here and I can write a program console dot write line. Everyone starts a programming with hello world. I can say like hello students. Okay, and you know, right, any programming language, when you say like write line, it will write, but the control won't stay in the place. So see, this is one good thing what I love. Like when you type something, it will give you more suggestion. Console, see, dot, what I should write. Like I want to make a read line. So read line, that's it. So I write, if you see a bulb option here, it will suggest me something. Use discard or introduce local for this one and all those things. So when you write very big code, it will suggest you some good option to make your code very clear. And if you're doing some, it is like a spell check or a typo or some grammar suggestions what you have, we have in this option. And now if you see, I used this console dot write line and console dot read line, where console is a class, so it will be showing in this blue color. And whereas some values, right, these are like keywords which are system specific keywords, so these keywords all will be shown in this colors. And either the methods and the name of the class, all these things will be shown in this color. So even the color gives you a good differentiation so that you can understand very easily when you go through the code. If someone is giving you a code, you can just open it and you can go through this. So when I mouse over this, it is saying like console is a class which is with class system.console. So it is saying like who is the parent of this console. So let me right click here. I'm saying like go to implementation. It is saying the symbol has no implementation because this all system classes. So it doesn't have any implementation, whereas it has a link with system.console. So the system is class system. I'm using here class system, right? So this is a library here, system, and this is having all these methods. So I don't want to write any code. It all will be available here. This say what I'm doing a write operation which will write something hello students on the monitor. So this is an output line, and read line is just to get an input from me. So this is an input. So all this input and output operations are defined in system.io class, and that is made as a library and it is available. If you are writing a code, new programming language or something by your own, then you want to write this kind of files and this much things by your own to create all those things. Like you should have some communication between the monitor and the keyboard for input and output device. Since Visual Studio and all these things is created long back and it is all there, you don't want to put much strains on this. You can just start using these files. Now I'm saving this. Then I'm going to start a program. Here there is a small button called a start. So I'm going and clicking on this. So if you see here, it shows like build succeeded, nothing but like the compilation has done. And it shows like hello students. And it is waiting for the other command called as read line. And when I enter, this entire program will get over. This is very, very simple and very, very basic thing. Any questions? Okay, as I told, Visual Studio will have more features, and the look and feel and the support, like whatever you want to write the code, the intelligence, we call it as intelligence, not intelligence, it is intelligence. Uh, Whenever you type something, like how I told, like string. So string is a class which is having multiple operations. String concatenation is one, and string copy, check for string is equal or string is null or empty, join a string. All these things are methods of string, like various operations related to string. So this kind of automatically populating and suggestions, we call it as intelligence. Can you see here? IntelliCode suggestion based on this contest. So I don't know whether you can see the screen clearly or not, but you can try this. So this kind of intelligence will be not so much available in Visual Studio Code. It's an open source, and there is always a difference between a free one and the paid one, right? Like even whatever app you're using, there will be a difference between a free app and um, like a subscription based one. Similar kind of thing. This Visual Studio is something a paid version, so it has more funding and all those things, so that it will have more powerful and it is easy to create, and there will be more compatibility with other environments and other libraries compared to Visual Studio Code. To start with programming and learning something, I will suggest you to go with this. Once you become well versed in the code, then you can go with the Visual Studio Code itself, which is an open source. But most of the companies, they use Visual Studio itself. If you're a .NET developer and all those things, if you are with Angular and all those things or .NET core applications, then they are using Visual Studio Code. Hope it answered your question, Dilip. Any other question? Okay, so as other IDEs, so this is also having various options. So the main thing what I want to show is Solution Explorer, where whatever solution you have, like the projects and the files, everything will be available here. Okay. Team Explorer, if you are having a code from repository and that is cloned, like say like Git and all those things, like now if you are using Azure DevOps also is one of the thing, and there are many repositories, see local Git repositories, and you want to connect to Azure where you can store your code. For all those things, Team Explorer means like it will show. And if some of your friends also working in the same project, you can use this option and you can update. This line can be updated by you and the same file can be updated by your friend, so there won't be any controversies. You both can save it to the Git, and all the codes will be updated. So for that, and class view is nothing but like each of the file will have the views, like what are the projects and what are the things like that. And as a editor, like how you have a paint, so you have multiple things, right? Like you can open or close and save the programs, and you can share the sessions, and you can say all those things, like you can share with your friends. And source control is nothing but to the repository and all those things, and you can edit the code, and you can do that formatting and what all those things, like duplicating and copying the line and all those things. And here something which I want to show you is like so this is if you want to add multiple projects, you can add here. Like you have one project and some other friend is having some other project, you can combine both the project and you can create as a software. And here if you see in the project, there is something called as manage NuGet package. So when you click on this, you can search for whatever you want. Now you are thinking like I want to implement some payment system into my application. So for that payment I can try something, okay, whether payment related anything is there or not. So they are saying, yeah, PayPal is available. The package is provided by PayPal, and which is available for Microsoft. So you can use PayPal or some other payment transactions, and those things can be used. And you can implement, like if you're creating a web application and you want PayPal integration, you can go just type as pay. Here see 2.7 million downloads. So many people has downloaded this and they have used. So if you are having a web application which has to implement a payment transaction, you don't want to do the coding from the scratch. You can just click here, you can stay install, and the PayPal related things will be installed here. So you, if you go to the PayPal related documents, they will say like which method has to be like added and which method you have to do. So all those informations will be available on the PayPal site or the document which is provided by the PayPal itself. So using that, you can use and connect to the PayPal for any transactions, like how you have Paytm in India. Similar way, like PayPal is international one. You can do some money transfer and payment and all those things if you have some, if you're planning to create some online transactions all. So till now you not found this package manager. Like once I installed something from the NuGet, I got one file called as package.config, and here it is having a package called PayPal, and this is the version of PayPal, and this is my .NET version 4.7.2. So future, if suddenly PayPal is updating this one version instead of 1.9.1, and like say for example I want something which is a feature which was there in 1.3.0, the older version, still I can go and update, and that version will be added here. See, when I selected 1.3.0, it shows like this was published on 2015. Now we are on 2022, before 7 years. So if I want the latest one, I can go always the latest one. So the latest one also was given by 2017. That is also like almost like 4 5 years before. So this is one good thing where you don't want to do everything from the scratch. This is one advantage. Like all the world famous things, like not all the thing, like most of the things, whatever you want to implement in your applications, everything will be available as a package, and you can easily integrate all those platforms here. Next one, debug in the sense like there is some problem. Okay, I'm saying like hello students, but hello students is not writing here, or something happened, some error happened. I don't know whether it is working or not. So for that I want to understand this code, how the code works, where it starts, where it ends, how the transaction will flow, all those things, right? For that we used to go for debugging mode. So what I will say, uh, always I like on the programming concept, this main program is a start. So code will go from this place, then it will execute this line, then it will execute next line, then it will close and it will get out of the code. So this is how program will works. Okay, so for that I want to break the code and see like whether it is working fine like that. So I can click here. So this red button we call it as breakpoints. So I'm doing one breakpoint here, and I'm seeing like whether how the program or the coding works like that. Okay. So when I click on debug and when I click on start debugging, so first it came into the main method. Okay. In main method, the breakpoint is here. Next, in debug, you can go to next step. So step over, I'm going here. So in console.write line, I'm going to say something like hello students. Okay. See what is mean by this less than 2 millisecond elapsed time means like the time taken from this step to this step to cross. Again, I'm going debug, stepping over. It came to next line, read line. So if you see already like this hello students is available here. So next it came to read line. Read line means it is expecting something to enter here. So I'm going step over. So now until I make some entry here, there won't be any control because control from the code came to user interface. It is an UI, and that uh, in the user interface, it is expecting an input from the user. So I want to enter. Unless and until if I enter, control won't go back to the code. So let me enter now. So what happened? I made an enter. So that read line is completed. Since I took long time and I was speaking, it took so much time to come to from this step to this step. And now the read line also completed. Then my control came here. Then that's it over. It will get out of the code. That's it. So here it is just a two line. So you know how the flow is happening. If the same thing like if you have some bigger code, static test method. Sorry. There should be a return type void test method. I am test method students. Okay. So why this is gray color? It is not used anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use it here. Okay, so now what I'm doing an operation here, writing hello students. After that, I am writing one more method. If this is very complex, just leave it. If you can understand, then it's very simple only. just how the control flows like that we are seeing. So I'm putting breakpoints here. So first step, I'm writing hello students, then I'm calling one method. So it is like redirecting, like how you have diversion board. Okay, instead of going straight road, take a diversion and take a turn, and then you come back to the original position like that. There will be a diversion board, right? So instead of going from this point to this point in the straight road, you will take a right turn, then straight, then left turn, and you will continue here, right? Same way, going from this console to this console, what I'm doing, I'm going to a test method. So I'm entering here, I'm going to write this one, I am a test method students like that. Again, I'm completing this method, coming back here, and again I'm coming for console.readline. Now let's start debugging and see how the control flows. So first control is here. I'm using my keyboard to press F10. Okay, so F10, hello students. Now hello students is printed. Usually after this it should go to this line, correct? But there is a connection here. See where the control goes. So it came to test method. It is like take diversion. By seeing this, it took the control here, and it printed something. I am a test method student. So this method is printed. Then now the diversion completed. It is going to the original route. See the control came back to the original route. Then again, now it is waiting for console.readline. When I click, then control comes back here, then you are done. So this is how the code flow and all those things will happen. If this is a very big method and you don't know where the mistake is happening, whether mistake is happening in this method or error is happening here and the error is happening here, to look all those things, what we say, like some bug happen, you want to do a debugging. This is called debugging. So debug and find where the error happened and fix that error. So when you have thousands of files and each file is having hundreds of code, this debugging will help you a lot to fix all those things. Any questions in debugging? Yes, no, or boring? So this is the base concept. Whatever language or whatever IDE you use, mostly it will follow the same structure. Maybe the shortcut keys and all those things will be a different one. Yes, no, any questions? Can you hear me? Hello? If you respond fast, then I can show something. Okay, only one person responded. Okay, so same way, there is something called as unit test. Like whenever you do something, you want to check whether the code what you wrote is proper or not. For that, it has support for unit test. You can write the test and you can run all the tests and look here. And you are thinking like I wrote some code, but whether the code is good and what is the quality of the code, like for those things to analyze, you have an analyzer tool where you can do some code cleanup and all those things. And there are other tools and extension which is used to connect to the database server. So if you want to connect to some Android applications or iOS or database servers and all those things or other packages, so for that these tools are used. And extension is like how I shown you, like NuGet packager is an extension, and similar kind of extension or customized menu whatever you want. And this is like to show the windows, what is the font and all those things. And this is help, which will show like what version of Visual Studio you're using, or if you have any doubts or questions related to this IDE, you can approach the people and you can see. So it shows like what is the version, when it was released, and licensing terms and licensing status, all those things will be available here. So this is about a console application. So console application is nothing but it don't have a proper UI that will have only a command prompt like things will be available. So that is we call it as console application. So next, let's create a quick one more project. So I went to file and clicked on new project. Let's create one web application. So I want one C# based web application. Okay, so I'm going to create Windows platform. I'm going to create a ASP.NET web application. See here also it has many options, right? Like which all platform you can use, which all platform you can use here like that. So I'm clicking on, this is a web application I'm creating. I'm clicking on next. Session to web app. Okay. So here right from day one I'm saying like what is advantage of using Visual Studio. Most of the codes will be taken care by this IDE itself. Like Microsoft made it very simple to make you more support and all those things. Now say I want to create a single page application. Single page application is like what you see like when you scroll from top to bottom, it will be having a menu and all those things will happen, right? So if I want that kind of project, I can select single page application. If I want a web forms, like web forms is like Google Forms and all those things, it will be there. If there is an MVC application, MVC is like architecture model view controller model. If you want to do it, it needs many to have a base project itself. It needs multiple files. It needs a bootstrapper, CSS, HTML, all those utilities and all those things. API is like this web API is similar to like cricket score will be happening in one place. Like say in Dubai one match is happening and there will be someone who is noting the code, but all the mobile apps and all the internet services is giving you score. It doesn't means like every one person is sitting there and they are finding the score and giving there. So what one API company will do, they will upload that to some online thing and they will give you the APIs. You want to pay for that and you can integrate those values into your mobile application or web application. Same way weather condition, not everyone is having a radar to sense the weather. So someone is doing that with huge satellites and radar and they are giving an API which is consumed in your if you see in my laptop it shows like 47 degree Fahrenheit. So this kind of things all are API services. Okay, now I will show one example of MVC. I want to create one MVC project. I'm clicking on create. So uh, anyone know what is meant by scaffolding? Scaffolding. That's an English terminology, scaffold. Okay, so they're saying this as scaffolding. Have you seen this for construction or putting some mirrors or into the construction or to paint some building? They will construct all those things and they will construct a building. How many of them have seen this? Like people used to use some bamboo or metal things to construct and they used to stand on that and they used to paint, or people who used to make a cutout banners, big banners, they will use this. So how many have seen this? I just have 5 minutes, so make it fast. Have you seen this or not? Yes or no? Is today's session so boring? Okay, so Joshika has seen. Anyone else? So whenever there is a construction, like people used to work on this. Okay, good. At least many have seen. So this is called a scaffolding. So the help of the scaffolding is you are going to construct a very big building. Before that, you need some support to stand on this and you want to do. So same way, Microsoft always does this kind of supporting. Like if you are going to create one application, you don't want to do everything from the scratch. Okay, so let me give you all those things. So they will call this a scaffolding thing. So Microsoft itself is giving you so much things. Like say like you want to create one web application. I told it should be an MVC model. So if you are starting from scratch, you want to create each folder, you want to create each file. So MVC means like model, view, and control. So there should be a model folder, there should be view folder, there should be a controller folder, and there should be some supporting files to be added. So these many files has to be added. So for all the things you want to search and copy and download and use all those things. Instead of doing all those things, if you want to connect to Azure also, they are giving options. So very simple, they are giving all those things. See, such a big web config file, and the script is having all JavaScript, Bootstrap, CSS, all those informations are there. So they are making your life easy. Okay, just you open and let's try to run this program and see. I too don't know what will happen. Let's see. Okay, so there is font support. There should be some fonts to be available. There should be some JavaScripts, jQuery. All those things are available here. So Microsoft itself is giving you this thing to make your work easy. Like if you want to create a website, you can directly go create one project and you can directly launch the project and you can see like how the output will be. And after that you want to do some design, then you can above this you can do some design, or if you don't want, you can click on some empty project and you can still go with this. So to make your things easy, they made everything. Like as I told, um, there is two ways to make one soup or noodles. You can buy everything raw and you can do everything right from the scratch and you can do by your own, or you can just go a ready-made one and you can start cooking and you can do. Still, both will be almost similar, but there will be some difference in the taste. So if you want some traditional way or that spicy and all those things to be done, you can do from the scratch. For that also they have an option for empty project. If you want to do very fast and quick, this will be very much helpful. See, I not even created anything. I not even coded. All those informations are created. So ASP.NET, there is one menu option, there is one home, there is one about us page, there is a contact page, okay, with some address example and application name. And here there is like a home page, my ASP.NET, and there is like get started, there is a links and all those things. If you want to create one website, you can just go here, you can create and you can do all those things. So now I'm just going here in this project. I'm going to view, I'm going to home, and I'm seeing like index.html. Okay, if you ask me like how you know exactly this place, this is the place where the file is available, this is through experience. Once you start working, then you can do. So here I'm saying like SRM, and title is SRM homepage. This I'm deleting and saying hello, good morning, students. Have a good day. Okay, I'm doing all those things. And one good thing about the web application is if you save there, still it is running in the background. I not even stopped. I started. It is still running in the background. Okay. So whatever changes I do, if I just save here and if I go to browser and do a refresh, I can see here like SRM homepage. This become SRM. Hello students. Hello, good morning students. Have a good day. Sorry, typo. Good day. I made save, came here and refreshed. So here it will change to good day. Like same thing here. If you want to change all those informations, whatever it is typed, you want to clean it up. I don't want all those things. It looks very bad. Okay. Delete, save, go, refresh, clean. Here again, I'm saying no, I want to have one H1 tag saying like how was session, save, go here, refresh. That's it. So whatever you do, it will be there. And this is an architecture type. Like you can do the coding, however, you can just do in a normal HTML, but MVC is one kind of architecture type where modularity we talked, right? Like now one of your friend knows only UI. He knows how to design pages and all those things, right? He can sit and work in this page. And other friend knows coding. He is good in C sharp, so he can sit here and he can write all the C sharp related codes. And one of your friend is very good in some database, so he can sit here and he can create some model which is related to database and he can work. So three people can work parallelly in this project, but nothing will affect anyone else. So this is called as modularity and this is called as isolation for those things like they made. So one company will have many people, right? One database guy will be there, one UI guy will be there, one guy who knows only designing HTML, CSS, coloring, Adobe Photoshop. So that guy will work in his work, and someone who is working on the background, like on the DB part, one will be writing in codes alone, and he don't know about UI. So each one will be given one task, and they will be doing all the tasks, but they all will add their own code here. Then the application will be ready in quicker time. So for this, they made this modularity called as MVC architecture type. So even that structure also is given. If you say like, do you know MVC like that? Yeah. If you go and create that MVC model will come. You should understand like how it works. But for this architecture, and this is the model, three-tier architecture, they would say like you should create a project in three-tier model. For all those things, they already provided the environment which is very easy to create. So this is the overall thing about Visual Studio and the basic about application. Any questions? And I'm done for the day, and sorry to take 2 minutes of your time. Any doubts or questions so far? Yes or no? Or you are clear? Okay, Sashidhar. Okay. So if no doubts, then I will end the session here. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions, like you can put on the feedback thing, we can discuss later.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. So, dear students, I'll post the feedback link through WhatsApp group. You have to fill it. Do you have any questions? So, in this questions, you have to type in this feedback link. Okay, thank you. Thank you all.